Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MUFC MPB here on YouTube. My name is Brooks, and today is Monday, the 12th of February 2024. Now, where I don't believe there was a stream over the weekend, but of course, Manchester United did play, and we played Aston Villa, securing a 2-1 win at Villa Park, which means we've completed the double over Aston Villa. And I'm not sure, but it honestly just seems a bit like, oh my God, we did a double over a team that's relatively decent or actually quite good. And that's a positive I'd like to take from the weekend, as well as obviously the win, as well as Rasmus Højlund bagging his fifth Premier League, scoring in his fifth Premier League game in a row. And of course, Scott McSauce coming off the bench to head the winner in the 86th minute after Douglas Luiz, did whatever he did. But we're not really going to be focusing on the previous match today. We're going to be focusing on some news regarding Frankie de Jong, Rasmus Højlund, Harry Amas Frimpong, as well as Tapsoba, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and Victor Lindelof. It's not going to be the longest stream today. I'm going to have to jump off at 8 because I have work commitments. I have a call with an American client, potential client. So some good news for me. But we're going to start off with we're actually going to start off with Frankie de Jong, because over the past few days you will have seen a bit of a ruckus on Twitter surrounding the Dutch midfielder. He currently plies his trade in Spain for Barcelona. Of course, we were linked to him pretty much the whole of last summer, and obviously we weren't able to secure his signature because he's still playing in Spain. However, Frankie de Jong is not ruling out leaving Barcelona this summer. Manchester United are very, very interested in signing him. I'm not surprised. You can look at this one of two ways, really. You can look at it as he genuinely is trying to leave Barcelona, and maybe he wants to, maybe he wants a new challenge. It also came out that apparently he's on around 700. Apparently he's on around £700,000 a week at Barcelona, which would obviously make sense as to why he didn't want to leave. I've just seen a comment there from FaZe TTV Jack. I don't believe it until I see it, but or Frankie de Jong actually is interested and will try and move to Manchester United in the summer. Obviously, he's worked under Erik ten Hag before, whilst he was when he was at Ajax. It was where he broke through along with De Ligt, along with Hakim Ziyech, Tagliafico, Mazraoui, Andre Onana as well, Dusan Tadic, David Neres. You could say the same about Kasper Dolberg, but he hasn't really kicked on as much. Scone, he was coming to the end of his career. But anyway, the Ajax team of 2019, the famous Ajax team of 2019 that reached the semi-finals of the Champions League. Frankie de Jong was the man in the middle, the engine, the guy that was keeping it ticking with his quick passing, with his ability to drive the ball forward. He's a very, very good ball carrier, and that's not somebody. I don't really think we have a. It's never focused, and I'm not sure why it's never focused. I'm not sure if we really have like an elite specialist ball carrier in the midfield. Someone like this might be a bit of a rogue choice, but someone like Ramirez from back in the day when he played for Chelsea. I've always liked Ramirez. I was always a fan of his. But when he gets the ball, the ability is to just naturally and without thinking twice, just get the ball and drive it forward like 15, 20 yards. Yeah, obviously then you have to pick a pass, you have to make the right decisions, you have to be talented enough to execute what your brain is telling your feet to do. But with Frankie de Jong, he has all of that and he has more. He's very calm and composed on the ball. Just imagine him next to Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield. The ball retention there would be absolutely amazing. And I'm talking, it would be almost like, what? We lost the ball in the midfield. It would be a surprise if we were to lose the ball with De Jong and Mainoo in the midfield. Put Fernandes right in front of them, and I'm guarantee you that his game will evolve as well, and that he will be able to not necessarily take away his Bruno ball, or take away his first time or two touch over the top balls he's playing balls through, but maybe he just might be able to calm it down a little bit and become more of the player that you guys want him to be. Whether or not that's good for his productivity and his output is to be known. But listen, Bruno Fernandes in front of Frankie de Jong and Kobbie Mainoo, I am definitely not complaining. And that's a trio in the midfield I definitely like to see. And it is a possibility because if you have just joined, Frankie de Jong is not ruling out leaving Barcelona this summer. Manchester United are very interested in signing him. Now, this is from Managing Barca. Frankie de Jong has given the green light to leave Barcelona this summer. So it's not a guaranteed deal. It's not a done deal that he's going to leave Barcelona this summer, but it is looking more likely, I guess by the day. And following up on that, Manchester United absolutely still want to sign Barcelona's Frankie de Jong, and he's now open to a potential move this summer. And of course, as I've been looking as well, by the way, FaZe TTV Jack, I cannot see that Erik ten Hag will be leaving Manchester United in the summer, so I'm going to assume that's just a bit of a troll message. However, Frankie de Jong I would imagine he has a pretty decent relationship with Erik ten Hag, and of course he knows how much Erik ten Hag wants him at Manchester United. So if he was ever in any doubts as to if does he really want me, he shouldn't be in any doubts, because I'm not even in any doubts. If Erik ten Hag doesn't want Frankie de Jong, then my name is Cristiano Ronaldo. But I have a question for you guys that are watching. Would you still take Frankie de Jong, or do you think that after all of that, fiasco in the transfer window last summer, that we should just probably move on because he rejected us essentially? Well, he did reject us actually. Do you think we should move on, or do you think we should go back in knowing the quality he possesses and what he can actually bring to the table at Manchester United? But whilst you guys think about that and probably answer it in the comments down below, I will just move on to something that you guys might not like to see. I'm in two minds about this because Real Madrid is Real Madrid. If you're not English, especially if you're from the continent, if you're from like Europe, I guess Hispanic, I would say the right word. If you're Portuguese, if you're Spanish, if you're South American, Real Madrid is like the Holy Grail. Manchester United is the Holy Grail to some, to a lot, to most, I guess to the majority of the world, because it is one of the biggest clubs in the world. But when Real Madrid come knocking, more often than not, they're going to get what they want. Well, Real Madrid have asked their chief scout, Uni Calafat, to keep an eye on Rasmus Højlund as they keep him as an option should they fail to sign either Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland this summer. I don't know what to think about this because I'm fully aware, or I do believe, I'm in no doubts that they would have sent their chief scout to watch Højlund, because he's going to be a superstar. He is. It's not in any doubt. He will be one of the best in the world in his position. He will be one of the best in class. But he is a Manchester United fan. He's wanted to play for Manchester United for ages. This is what he's saying. It was his dream to play at Old Trafford. He's doing it now. He's living the dream. He is on course to be our main striker for at least 8, 9, 10 years. I'm a Manchester United fan. If I was in this position, I'm locked in. Like, I'm locked in for until I'm 30. I'm locked in. I'm not going anywhere. And I know footballers say that all the time, but I'm not a footballer. I'm a Manchester United fan who can play football. Wink, wink, Ten Hag. But Rasmus Højlund, I hope he does stay, because recently we've been seeing what he is capable of, since he started to find the back of the net. And I think he's on 11 goals this season in all competitions. That's Premier League, League Cup, or whoever I think it was the FA Cup against Newport he scored. So he's got 5 in the Champions League, 5 in the Premier League, and 1 in the FA Cup. So that takes him to 11. And I think he's got 2 or 3 assists as well to his name. So his return overall, honestly, for his first season as a 20-year-old coming in, finishing as a 21-year-old, isn't terrible. Genuinely is not terrible. But hopefully this is just the beginning of things to come. And hopefully Real Madrid do sign Mbappe or Haaland. Preferably Haaland, actually, because if City don't have Haaland, that's better for the Premier League, because Haaland and De Bruyne on the same team under Pep Guardiola, obviously, as they demonstrated last season, is a very, very worrying attacking situation for any defensive team to have to come up against. But yeah, I do want Rasmus Højlund to stay, and I do think he will stay. I'm as I said, I was in two minds, but at the same time, I'm not really too concerned. I'm not really too worried about Rasmus Højlund potentially leaving Manchester United for Real Madrid, especially this or next summer. I am confident he will be here for a very, very long time. He would be one of the 4 or 5 players that you do build the team around as well. And he will be fully aware of that, by the way. So if you are worried about it, don't be. I just don't think it's something that would happen, but I'm fully accepting the fact that they probably do have their chief scout here to watch Rasmus Højlund play football, and I'm not surprised. He's a very, very good player, and he's a top talent, heading right to the very top. And here is another top talent that's heading right to the top. Screw De Jong. Johnny says, so you're definitely saying you wouldn't take Frankie De Jong this summer if the genuine opportunity presented itself. You wouldn't take Frankie De Jong to put him alongside Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield, because I definitely would. But I just want to get your guys' opinion on this guy. Harry Amas is a youth player. He's 16 years old at the most. Okay. Would you give highly rated 16-year-old left-back Harry Amas a chance against Luton Town if Luke Shaw is unavailable? Now, I'll give you a bit of a backstory on this guy. We signed him from Watford very recently, and he obviously plays left-back. He's been playing for the youth sides. And I'd say, was it like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks ago? It was between a week and 2 weeks ago that there was a clip of him, I believe it was against Arsenal. Manchester United played Arsenal or Liverpool, like youth teams. And he had the ball, he was in control of the ball. He had about 2 or 3, maybe 4 guys pressing him, and a couple of drag backs, a couple of body feints, and he was out of trouble when he released it, and it was a successful pass. That's the only clip I've seen of him. That's the only clip I've seen on Twitter, so I'm guessing that's the only clip a lot of people would have seen of him. Composed. He's 16, and he has a massive reputation. He's one for the future, 100%, and someone that you probably will be seeing playing first-team football for Manchester United. I would have originally said in a year or so, between a year or 2 years, but there are rumours that he will. I've seen on one Manchester United fan or aggregator account page that he definitely will be starting against Luton. I don't think he will. I don't think he starts against Luton. He's just really started to kick on for the youth sides. It would be like, doing well on a GCSE mock and then being asked to sit your A-levels 2 weeks later. I don't think this one really makes sense. I think there is a lot of development there before he's ready. And look, listen, I'm saying all of this now, and he might start, he might play, and if he does play, I hope that he proves me wrong. I hope that he goes into the team and looks like he's been there for 3 or 4 years. I hope that he goes and kicks on. I hope that he could become the new Manchester United starting left back, which would mean he's the best at the club. I hope all of this happens, but I can't see this happening so soon. When 16-year-olds come through, you get the Bellingham, you get the Wayne Rooney, you get the Lamine Yamal. I can't think of another 16-year-old footballer that's really come through. And I feel like if he was really ready for first team action, he would have been on the bench. He would have been doing this and that. His name would have been around a lot earlier than maybe just even a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I don't think he's ready, and I don't think he will start. And I think, as I said, if he does start, listen how I'm talking in the conditional tense. If he does start, I hope it is a smooth ride. I hope he hits the ground running, and I hope it all goes well. I hope he proves me wrong. But I think it would also be a bit naive. I think it would be a bit obtuse. It would be a bit of an obtuse angle for Ten Hag to approach this one from by starting him. I think it would be a bit of a mistake starting him against Luton. Because Luton, listen, they're in good form right now. But in Amas against Ogbene, fastest player in the league, it might be a bit of a rough one. Don't start him. Put Dalot left back and Lindelof right back if you need to. Then you might, if we're doing well, bring Amas on for the last 15 or 10 minutes. I think that might be the way it goes if it happens. This is if Luke Shaw isn't available, because of course He did come off against Aston Villa on Sunday. If you guys didn't notice, that's why Lindelof was playing at left back. Ten Hag said it was a precautionary measure. And since then, I haven't really heard any diagnosis, or he's going to be out for 2-3 months, weeks, days. I don't know what's happening with Luke Shaw. So I guess, well, I'm just going to have to wait, just like the rest of you guys. But yeah, would you start Harry Amas at left back? Johnny says, screw de Jong, his heart is in Barca. I think his heart is in Barca because that's where he gets paid. And he gets paid a lot. Rajat says, go for Palinia, keep Alvaro Fernandez, hope he doesn't go to Benfica. Well, we're going to be hopefully seeing quite a bit of Alvaro Fernandez because Benfica, of course, are in the knockout stages of the Europa League. And I believe that's a loan deal, or we do have first, we do have option to buy back or whatever. Listen, I can confidently say that none of us have seen Harry Amas play more than 3 or 4 games. None of us really know what he's about. Yes, he will be very promising. He has been training with the first team for a couple of weeks now, or just a week. So he does have the talent, he does have the raw talent, and he does have the potential. And it's clear that the managers and the staff and the coaches can see the potential in him. But I genuinely do think Manchester United fans, the club, players, managers, everybody involved, a lot of people involved with Manchester United are very, very sentimental. And I think that might come from the fact that growing up as a Manchester United fan, for pretty much all of us, we've only been used to one thing. We've only had the Sir Alex Ferguson. We've only had Giggs, Scholes, Neville, the other Neville, Keane. All of these players that pretty much played their whole careers and they were given a chance. And if it went wrong, they were given another chance and given chances. And then they became like the class of 92. That Manchester United became Manchester United. As much as I hate to say it, I don't think it can run like that anymore. I think players don't go out on loan if they're good enough. Look, Kobe Manu is starting game after game. He's 18 years old. Alejandro Garnacho, he didn't go out on loan. He wasn't starting games straight away. Yeah, he started a couple, but he had to ease into it. Marcus Rashford didn't go out on loan. He was starting games. Yeah, he was playing on a technicality because Martial was injured against Midtjylland in the Europa League. But my point is, they were young teenagers, 16 to 18 years old, but they came in and hit the ground running, and now they're a main part of Manchester United. Alvaro Fernandez, as well. This is Kobe Manu coming in over these other midfielders like McTominay, who you might not think is very good, but has been starting for Manchester United for years. He's keeping Christian Eriksen on the bench, who has been one of the best attacking midfielders in European football over the last 8 or 9 years. He's a fully fledged international player, Champions League finalist. I don't know if he's won any trophies in England, and I'm sure he won Serie A with Inter Milan, or that was the season after the unfortunate incident at the Euros. But my point is, I believe if Alvaro Fernandez was genuinely good enough to play first team football for Manchester United in the Premier League, in what was the Champions League, at the highest level, I think he would have stayed. And I think the fact that we have Manu, Garnacho, Rashford, all of these players that came in very, very, very young and stayed proves my point. But this is what I mean. I think we are very sentimental, and for good reason. Like, Alvaro Fernandez will probably be a good player, but I think at the moment the right move was to loan him out or send him away from the club. If we have sent him out permanently, then I know that we do have a buyback. If it is a loan, then it's a loan. But I know that we can either get him back whenever we want, or he's coming back at the end of the season. I just can't remember the ins and outs of the deal. But my point stands. If he was good enough, he'd be playing. He's going out on loan to get game time and experience because he wasn't good enough to start first team for Manchester United, and I don't think it'd make much benefit to him. That just wasn't English. I don't think it would be very beneficial to Alvaro Fernandez if he was still playing youth football and sitting on the bench at Manchester United. I know it's Manchester United. You're a bigger club than Benfica. You're playing in a better league, but he wasn't playing. So playing first team football for Benfica in the highest division of Portuguese football, I think, will benefit him massively, and I think he'll learn a lot. Hopefully, if he does come back, he'll be good enough to start, because that's what I want. I think anybody coming into Manchester United should really be pushing the first team to start and be one of the first names on the team sheet. Alejandro Garnacho. Yeah, Alejandro Garnacho as well. All of these players who have come into Manchester United very young and started. But just give you some more examples. Shola Shoretire. He came in for a couple games. Look, he was tearing it up. He was tearing it up for the youth sides. I think this was the under-18s at the time. Now, of course, he's playing for the reserves. But for the under-18s, he was tearing it up, which is why he was given his opportunity. And he just wasn't good enough because we haven't seen him since. And that's fine. And that's the same as Alvaro Fernandez. It will be. He's been out on loan. All of these players going out on loan aren't good enough aren't good enough to play for Manchester United first team. Not because they're too young, because we've had young players and we have young players now. But yeah. But let's just move on to a couple new rumours. One old, one relatively old, but still kind of new. Manchester United are continuing to monitor Bayer Leverkusen defenders Jeremy Frimpong and Edmund Tapsoba. And this is from Samuel Luckhurst, literally 8 hours ago. So it's today. Bayer Leverkusen, by the way, flying in La Liga. They absolutely dominated Bayern Munich on the weekend. And if you didn't watch the match and you want to understand or familiarize yourself with how much Bayern Munich got dominated, go and watch the highlights. Not one Bayern Munich attempt. I think there might have been one. Every single highlight was a Leverkusen attack, was a Leverkusen press, was a Leverkusen something. It was a Leverkusen action. They dominated Bayern Munich. And I think that was the clearest indication yet that they will probably win the Bundesliga. They're still unbeaten this season. They haven't lost in the league, in whatever domestic cups they're in. They haven't lost in Europe. Of course, they're in the Europa League. They'll probably go on to win that as well. It would be absolutely... Sorry. I know that, their manager is an ex-Liverpool legend in Xabi Alonso, and he might end up even at Liverpool. But, oh my God, he is amazing. Absolutely amazing. What? It's the 12th of February. There's January, February, March, April, May, June. There's 4 months left of the season, roughly, if they make it all the way to the Europa League final or whatever. What if he goes the whole season unbeaten? They don't look like they're ever going to lose, even when they're behind, which has been a couple of times this season. I'm sitting there watching them thinking, I know they're going to win. Like, it's not even a finger biting time. I know they're going to win. Frimpong and Grimaldo at the back in the fullback positions make Trent and Robertson look like, I don't know, Bert and Ernie. Like, it's not even... Trent and Robertson walked so Frimpong and Grimaldo could run. This season, you got 10 goals. I think between them, they have between 33 or something and 40 goal contributions between them this season. And we're in February. Frimpong scored on the weekend as well. I think they both scored on the weekend, or one of them got an assist or something. But anyway, my point is, Jeremy Frimpong and Tapsoba have been absolutely wonderful this season. We've been linked to them before, especially Frimpong. We were linked to him quite a lot last summer as we were looking for a new right back. And with the potential departure of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Frimpong does look like it's on the cards. And of course, we've been linked to Tapsoba before, who I think could come in and form an absolutely formidable partnership with Lisandro Martinez. If you put Frimpong right back, Tapsoba right centre back, Lisandro Martinez left centre back, and Harry Amas left back, Luke Shaw left back, that's dangerous. That's really... You have one of the better attacking right backs in Europe. You have one of the better centre backs in Europe in Lisandro Martinez. You have one of the better left backs in Europe in Luke Shaw. Argue with your dog, I don't care. And then you have one of the better up and coming centre backs in Europe as well. He's from Burkina Faso, I think, Tapsoba. But that defense will be absolutely amazing. Is that a deal you guys would like to see? Spencer says Benfica have a buy clause in the contract. Hello again. Manchester United can price match it. See, that does make sense. That does make a bit of sense. Manchester United scouts really appreciate Bayer Leverkusen's Jeremy Frimpong, and he has a €40 million release clause this summer. Get it done. Get it done. Dalot and Frimpong. Just do it. Dalot and Frimpong. There is a concrete chance for him to move to the Premier League in the summer. He would love to try it. He's already played in England before, by the way, guys, if you didn't know. He came through the Manchester City Youth Academy. Very good English. He is fluent in English. He sounds like he's from London, to be honest. The accent throws me off a bit because he's Dutch, played for Manchester City, now plays for Leverkusen, and sounds like pretty much like me, but from South. Doesn't make sense. Not complaining. Language won't be an issue. But he's played in England before. He understands English football. He understands the teams. He knows about Man United. He knows about Man City. He knows about all of these things. I think it's a no-brainer. He has a €40 million release clause. If we don't do it, it would be a farce. I think it would be confusing, and it would be a direct demonstration of if we are an ambitious club now that we have new people in, you go and get Frimpong. You go and get him. Doesn't matter that we have Dalot. They might be as good as each other. One might be better. I know Dalot is thriving, but if Frimpong comes in and he's better, go and sit on the bench, mate, Dalot, because we got somewhere better. Now you have to work harder. That's what competition does to the mentally strong. We haven't really had that mentality over the past, 8, 9 something years, but I think hopefully now it's coming back, and I think Dalot versus Wan-Bissaka was one very good example because they were both battling each other. When he got to Liverpool, no, they got Trent, and now they've got that new right back coming through, innit? Conor Bradley. He's very good, by the way. Off to an absolute blast in the Premier League. But yeah, man, I'd definitely take Frimpong, and I'd also definitely take Tapsoba. As well as another centre-back. I think we need to get rid of a lot of players that regularly start for Manchester United, as well as a few bench players. And we can bring in these type of players that you'd bring in to start. So what if you bring in 2 centre-backs that want to start? Battle, fight, compete with each other, get better, improve each other. That's what we want. Manchester City have it. Liverpool had it. Every team, every successful team, every team that goes and wins the league, every team that wins the Champions League, all these trophies, they all have players that are battling each other that probably deserve to start. You got Diaz here, but John Stones wants to start. Now John Stones is starting. Diaz wants to start. Oh, you got Ake as well. Ake wants to start. Gvardiol. You get what I'm saying. All of these players definitely deserve to be starting. Tapsoba, Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire at the moment as well. They all deserve to be starting, but there's only 2 spaces. What that does is breed competition, and competition is healthy. Well, healthy competition is good. So yeah, I definitely going for these players. And I think that was a pretty decent segue into someone who might be vacating a potential centre-back position. Victor Lindelof is likely to leave Manchester United in the summer and move to Saudi Arabia, where he has many offers. I like Lindelof. I've always been a fan of Lindelof since he came into Manchester United. I like the way he plays. I know he's not a Ruben Diaz type centre back. He's more like a John Stones type. He's going to get on the ball and drive a little bit and pick out passes rather than get in your face and stick elbows in your face and do all of that dirty work. But for the sake of his own career, for the sake of his international captaincy, his international playing time in his career, he does need to move on. Saudi Arabia, I think Victor Lindelof can do better than Saudi Arabia. I think a lot of the players that have gone to Saudi Arabia can do a lot better. I don't know, man. I think if he goes to Saudi Arabia, he gets lost. I think he needs to be playing European. I think he should be playing at least Europa League football. I would like to see him go to a team not in the Premier League. He could go to a Lille. He could go back to Benfica. He can go and play in La Liga. He could go play for Juventus or something. I don't know. I just don't think Saudi Arabia is good enough for him. And I know they have a lot of good players, coming to the end of their career, but I feel like I don't know. I just kind of don't want him to go to Saudi Arabia because I don't want Mourinho to be right about something else. When they leave, how they play, when they play, if they play, where they play will fit into Lindelof's situation if he does go to Saudi Arabia. I know they have the money, and I know there's going to be a lot of teams battling for his signature, but Victor, if you're watching this, you're better than Saudi Arabia, mate. Stay in Europe. Play in the Champions League. I want to see you play in Europa League, Champions League football, man. I think you're better. Going to get the bag. I don't know, man. I don't have a problem. Go and get your money, get your bread up, innit? But I think football, exactly. AC Milan, Juve, Inter Milan, all of these. Napoli would be a good choice, actually. Yeah, I think Napoli would be quite a decent choice. But I believe in getting your money up, innit? Everybody should have money. Everybody should be earning money. I don't believe you should just... when people say, like, I need to make money, I feel like you should earn money. I feel like if you go to Saudi Arabia, you're not earning money. You're making it. You're just being given money. You're being given extortionate amounts of money for playing against weaker opposition, for playing in a weaker league, for playing in front of less people, for playing... You don't warrant the money that you're being paid. And I know there's going to be a lot of like, oh yeah, but footballers get paid too much anyway. But at least in like the Premier League, we know the Premier League generates record amounts of money. We know the TV deals that go on. We know the amount that Manchester United earn and their revenue and how much they can afford to spend on players. It's more justifiable to earn, for a rotational centre-back to be earning 200 or whatever, than to go to Saudi Arabia, play in front of 1,000 people every week and be earning 400k, to be making 400k, sorry. I don't agree with Victor Lindelof potentially going to Saudi Arabia, basically. What time is it? Right. Since we are coming to the end of the stream, as I said, I do have quite an important call with a potential client. I will be ending the stream in a matter of minutes. But if you guys do have any more questions, make sure to get them in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, though, make sure you do hit that like button as well as hitting that subscribe button. We are currently on 2.37 thousand subscribers. Thanks to you guys. It is a nice little community we're building here, and it's nice. Don't think I don't notice, but I'm seeing the same names in the chat pretty much every time I'm on, at least, and I really do appreciate that. And I know MPB does appreciate the support that the channel gets. Of course, we are still growing, but remember, all of our Twitter or X links will be in the description down below. So you got myself, Anton Brooks, you've got Anil Kandola and Aaron Sakaya, as well as MUFC MPB's link in the description down below. So make sure you do go and follow everybody on there to keep up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Now, I guess it's all up to date, it's all quick, it's all first hand, it's all sourced very well. So make sure you do go and follow those pages. I will be back, I believe, on Wednesday for my next show, and I think tomorrow is going to be Anil. So make sure you do tune in for him, show him some love as well. I know he does get a lot of love on his videos, so make sure you go and do that once more. But I will see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. I didn't even end the stream. I accidentally opened the Xbox app.